Welcome to the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Zach Rosenblatt. Zach, in our previous episode, we talked a lot about how the departures of Bill Kurlavich and Jeff Castile affect the defense and recruiting. Now let's talk about what recruiting is left. Where are the big holes right now, and who will Arizona pursue to try to fill those holes between now and signing day?
Well, they've filled pretty well on offense throughout the last year in their class already. You know, they have quarterbacks coming in, they have a couple running backs, they have a couple offensive linemen. There's holes on defense they need to fill. Linebacker is a big one, obviously. I mean, on top of losing Scooby Wright, you have Derek Turry, who probably won't even play next year. Wow. And then, you know, Jake Matthews and Cody Ippolito are both coming off serious injuries. They're not going to play in the spring. Right. So they have a guy named Jake Colacione coming in who, of course, because it's Arizona, he tore his ACL at the end of his senior year. So I don't know how he's doing health-wise. I'll try and talk to him soon. But yeah, so linebackers for sure a spot they need. They're getting Kahi Neves, who was originally going to be a quarterback for Utah and hasn't played linebacker for a couple of years. He's going to come in this next week as an early enrollee, and he'll play linebacker. So, I mean, linebacker is pretty obviously a spot they need to fill. Caleb Jones being gone, their only tall receiver now coming into next year is Trey Griffey. Right. So they're going after a four-star guy. He's out of Michigan, actually. His name is Desmond Fitzpatrick. They're in the running for it. I think they're in his top 5. So that's going to be a big deal over the next couple of weeks if they can get him.
Sure. It's funny, you look at the positions since Rich Rodriguez has been here that have really been kind of consistent performers. That big receiver spot's pretty good. I mean, Dan Buckner kind of gave way to Caleb Jones, who kind of gave way to Trey Griffey, who...
I mean, even David Richards was
been, yeah. Right. And to me, that's a very important position to have, or a very important kind of guy to have on the outside.
You want at least one, and you prefer to have 2 or 3 of those.
2 or 3, right. Because they do really good at recruiting the little guys, the little fast guys. But
and they shuffle in a lot of receivers, too. Right. That's their whole thing, yeah.
Right. If you had to pick a guy right now who could step into those shoes on offense next year, who do you think it's going to be? Sort of a breakout star.
Well, I think Trey Griffey, honestly, is going to play a huge role next year. And another name, I think Cam Denson, which I think it's almost for certain, I think he's going to come to offense. We all saw what he can do when he was at South Point. We'll see when he switches back how he does, but he's just explosive and he was so fun to watch. So I think he's, if not right away, I think he's certainly a threat to be a weapon for that offense.
Sure. I think Nate Phillips is a guy who is kind of the forgotten man in that
he's
wide
always the
receiver
consistent, safety valve. Right. For Anu and whoever else has been in there. He's always the favorite target.
Sure.
Samaje needs to bounce back also. He didn't have a great year.
Samaje Grant needs to bounce back
here. They
have
the pieces, they just don't have the tall guys, so maybe they'll be going a lot fast. Maybe if they can go faster, they'll be going fast, throwing short passes kind of thing.
Right. And if you figure that things can't get any worse injury-wise and sort of just issues-wise than it was last year, if all these guys come back healthy and then you mix in somebody like Nick Wilson at running back, I mean, they're going to be able to move the ball and score points. It's just a matter of kind of being complete as a team and balanced. I'm not sure they're very balanced.
Well, then Nick Wilson's got to get healthy too.
Right, exactly.
They might sit him out in the spring too. So.
Right. No, it's. Gosh, you never think you'd see a team with so many injury issues.
And it feels like they still have, it's not, the season's over and it still feels like they're still dealing with them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because spring football starts in a month. We might still just be asking Rich Rod about injuries. And there's no injury reports that come out every Thursday during spring, so he can't say that joke to us.
Right. We've got an idea, Rich Rodriguez. Injury reports during spring ball. Thoughts?
For us, at least.
For us. So just tell Zach.
We don't even tell anybody if you don't want.
Just tell Zach. Yeah. That'd be good. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Zach Rosenblatt, you managed, by the way, no injuries this year.
Yeah, none.
None?
I suffered allergic reaction recently, but I don't know if that would put me on the report.
That counts, yes. Okay. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.